Hey guys, so I'm a month in to not straightening my hair and not wearing it up actually, and I just at this point think I just have to let it do what it wants to do. And my hair and I are not agreeing on what it should be doing, but that's okay. So today I have swatches of the Zero Lacquer Spring 2020 collection. This is the, I'm really excited about this. Let me just calm down a little bit. This is the Welcome Home collection based on the Animal Crossing video game. So the newest addition to the Animal Crossing game series comes out actually the same day as these polishes. My mom and I have this whole like Animal Crossing party planned with just the two of us. It's gonna be awesome. There are 9 polishes here altogether based off of Animal Crossing, and then I also have extra polish that's not part of the collection but will be coming out also on Friday, and that is a gold flaky topper. If you're unfamiliar with 90, it is the brand that I make and sell myself. I'm getting a little carried away. I'm really excited about Animal Crossing. So these will be available on Friday, March 20th at 11 a.m. Eastern time. Like always, if anything sells out, I will restock. It usually takes me about a week to restock, and then the restock usually takes place at a later time than the original so that I can try to stagger the times and accommodate everyone's schedules, even though I know everyone's schedules are really weird right now. All of that being said, I have a lot of polishes to show you guys, so I will link the 90 website down below where you can check these out, and I will get into the swatches. So the first polish is called New Horizons, and this is a sky blue, light blue with little tiny holographic gold microflakes. So this one is pretty sheer on the first coat. I did have to make it a little more sheer than my curlies usually are because I didn't want to lose those flakes, but you do get a good amount of those out. And I was definitely looking for like sunlight on water with this one. I think it applies pretty well, not too thick, not too thin. You will get a little bit of texture out of those flakes. So this one, it does build up on that second coat. I definitely like it better in 3. There are still some dark spots with 2 that I want to cover up. And I mentioned that those flakies will stick up a little bit. They're not quite as flat and smooth as the silver holographic flakies that I've used in polishes before, but they're also not quite as textured as a glitter. The polish itself, though, will dry a little bit dull, so you'll want top coat for that as well. So this one does cover completely in 3 coats. I do think the blue color gets a little bit better after that 3rd coat as well. So that is 3 coats of New Horizons. The next polish is called Bells, 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 and this is a bright yellow gold foil metallic. So this one is a little bit sheer on that first coat. It is a more foil metallic, so there's a lot of little tiny sparkly pieces rather than a smooth, more chrome metallic that would give you brush strokes. There's no brush strokes through here. So this one does cover completely for me on that 2nd coat. And you should wear top coat anyway, but you won't need to smooth anything out with top coat here. And this is not a glitter, so it won't be difficult to remove. You might get some of those little flakes all over your skin, so your skin will be extra sparkly, but you won't actually need to scrub to get the polish off. So that is 2 coats of Bells, Bells, Bells. The next polish is called RECYCLE, and this is a kind of literal interpretation of Reese. This is a lighter pink curly base with red, blue, and yellow glitter. So this one is a bit sheer on that first coat. It is a curly, and I think it has a pretty good formula. So this one does start to build up on that 2nd coat. Like pretty much every curly, I do like it better in 3, so I'm going to do a 3rd coat also. And this does have some pretty large glitter in it, so this is going to dry textured, and the parts where there is glitter will be more difficult to remove because that glitter will stick to the nail a bit. Actually, I changed my mind. I'm going to call this one good in 2 coats. Those 2 coats went on really solid. I know I did 3 for my swatch photo, so just know that. It might be 2 or 3 depending on your application. Apparently for me it's going to vary based on the day, but I think I'm good in 2 coats here. So that is 2 coats of RECYCLE. The next polish is called Perfect Apple, and this is a bright kind of reddish pink foil metallic. So this one is also a little bit sheer on that first coat, and I think the formula is pretty good. Like Bells, 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 this doesn't have any brush strokes. It's a more broken up, more sparkly metallic, and less of a chrome. So this one does cover completely in 2 coats. And this is a pretty solid 2-coater. I'm not going to rule out anyone ever needing 3 coats for this polish, but I don't think it's very likely. And like Bells, 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 this will not be difficult to remove, but you will get a lot of little sparkly pieces around your skin when you're taking the polish off. So that is 2 coats of Perfect Apple. The next polish is called Sisters in Sails, and this is loosely inspired by the Able Sisters. This is a mint green Crelly base with rainbow, mostly matte glitter. The dark purple that's in there is a metallic. So this is a Crelly, so it is a bit sheer on that first coat, and I think the formula is pretty good. It's totally unnecessary on the first coat, but I'm gonna just I had to cut myself off because I also knocked like 15 polishes off my desk as I was saying it, but I was like intentionally sticking some glitter over on the end of that nail because I just can't help myself. Even though that's really unnecessary on the first coat of acrylic because it gets covered up anyway. So this one does start to build up on that second coat, but I'm going to do a third. I can still see a little bit of my nail line, and I just have a couple of dark spots that I don't like. This does build up pretty decently on the second coat, so if you're not really picky, you could probably get away with 2, but it's not quite as solid as the pink Crelly was in 2 coats. So this one does cover completely in 3 coats. I really debated whether I should just call it in 2 because it was really, really close, but just not quite there for me. I like a really opaque base with my Crellys. And this is glitter, so it is going to dry textured and it will be difficult to remove. Okay, do you see how I kind of just like swiped all the glitter off of my nail on this finger? Crellys are kind of a different animal when you're applying them, so I'm gonna like very intentionally stick some glitter back in there. I always feel like I'm struggling to make the glitter that goes onto the nail look perfectly random, which makes no sense at all. I can never just leave anything alone. So that is 3 coats of Sisters in Sails. So the next polish is called Snitches Get Stitches, and this is a literal-ish interpretation, a literal Crelly interpretation of Stitches. So this has a lighter orange, a darker orange glitter, a lighter green, a darker green, blue, and then a darker pink as well. And it is sheer on the first coat. It's a white Crelly. It's white, so it's definitely going to need 3 coats. And again, I think the formula is pretty good. So this one does start to build up on that second coat, but it is not quite there. You might be able to get away with 2 if you're not picky, but I like to have a really, really white base on my Crellys. And as you can see, you can still make out a little bit of my nail line. And that nail line that you can see is while the polish is still wet, so it will definitely dry a little bit more sheer than that. And like the other Crellys, which I know are abundant in this collection, this is glitter, not huge glitter, but fairly large, so it will stick to the nail a bit when you try to remove it, and it will dry textured. So this one does cover completely in 3 coats, and it gives me that little bit whiter of a white base that I'm after. I'm going to take this orange glitter that's on the end of this brush. There we go. I just wanted the bright orange on that nail. And I always try to do a thinner third coat with Crellys. I'm trying to like thin this out because I want to be able to see the glitter that's in that third coat, but I want to be able to see the glitter that's in that second coat coming through really well also. So I'll like put a normal coat on and then try to thin it out. So that is 3 coats of Snitches Get Stitches. The next polish is called Fortune Telling Feline, and this is for Katrina. This is a medium purple foil metallic, but this has little holographic flakes scattered throughout it as well, which don't stand out as much as I would like, but when you do catch one in the light, it looks pretty cool. So this one is a bit sheer on that first coat. This is the same finish as Perfect Apple and Bells, 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 so there aren't any brush strokes through this. And those little particles that are in there are not a glitter, so they won't dry textured. And you know how I feel about the formula. So this one does start to build up on that second coat. I think a lot of people will probably be okay with 2 coats of this one. I just feel like I have a couple of lighter spots at the end of my nails, like they're kind of forming on each nail. Let me get all the polish on and then decide. I might just stick with 2 coats. I don't know. Okay, so I let this dry completely before I decided whether to do a second or third coat. I think I'm going to call this one in 2, but I think depending on your application, you might need 3. I have one little sketchy spot on the end of my pinky finger and a little sketchy spot on the end of my pointer finger, but I don't think it's enough to do a whole third coat. So that is 2 coats of Fortune Telling Feline. So the next polish is called Owl Assessment, and this is the polish for fossils. This is a navy blue jelly base with 2 different sizes of silver holographic glitter. I know there are some that might want to know how Owl Assessment compares to Peculiar Star 2.0. So here is Peculiar Star 2.0, and here is Owl Assessment. You can see that Owl Assessment is a lot darker, more navy, and also has larger chunks of glitter. So this one is a jelly, so it's a little bit sheer on that first coat. You do get a lot of glitter out, and since there is a lot of glitter, it is going to dry very textured. You might even need 2 coats of top coat depending on how thick or thin the top coat that you're using is, and it will definitely be difficult to remove again because of all that glitter. And I always do a thinner coat on my pointer finger. I don't understand why. So this one does start to build up on that second coat. Right now this is kind of looking how Fortune Telling Feline did, where I have like a couple of sketchy spots on the ends of my nails, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough to do a whole third coat, especially because I try to avoid doing a third coat with anything that has a lot of glitter in it, because that can get really thick really fast as you build up layers. Yeah, the rest of my nails look good, so I'm going to actually take the end of my brush and I'm going to do that little spot right there. That's probably more from my application than anything, but who knows. So that is 2 coats of Owl Assessment. So the next polish is another literal interpretation. This is a Tom Nook polish. This is called It's Mr. Nook To You, and this is a brownie crelly base with some dark brown glitter, copper glitter, bronze glitter, and little black glitters. I ended up accidentally putting these semi-transparent black glitters in here instead of the black glitters that I thought I was grabbing, and I actually like how it turned out better because the black isn't like so dark and so in your face. So this one is a bit sheer on that first coat. It is a crelly, and like the other crellies, you will have some resistance from that glitter when you remove it, and you will want top coat, and I think the formula is pretty good. So this one does build up pretty well on that second coat. I'm going to let it dry completely, but I think I'm only going to need 2 for this. I did do 3 coats for my swatch photo, but I almost always do an extra coat for swatch photos just because the camera can sometimes pick up flaws in the polish that you can't see in person. Okay, so this one is good in 2 coats. Like I said, I did 3 for my photos, but this is looking really solid in 2 today. So that is 2 coats of That's Mr. Nook To You. And the last polish is not part of the Welcome Home collection, but it is also releasing on Friday. This is a Flaky All the Things Gold top coat, which is just a holographic gold micro flake top coat. I am layering this over an Essie Expressi polish in IRL. I swear there is a video coming on the Expressi polishes. I'm still trying to get through the swatches. It's taking forever. So here is your 1 coat. This will not replace your like finishing top coat. It will probably dry a bit dull, and you might have a little bit of texture out of those flakes as well. So you will definitely still need your normal glossy top coat on top. These flakes are a little bit different than the silver holographic flakes that are in the regular Flaky All the Things version. These gold ones don't dry quite as flat as those silver ones do. So that is 1 coat of Flaky All the Things Gold. Sometimes I pick favorites with my own polishes, sometimes I don't pick favorites with my own polishes, but I do have 2 in here that I was really happy with. New Horizons I was very, very happy with. I just really, really like how this turned out. And then Bells, Bells, Bells I was also very happy with because I tried several different versions of this to get like the exact gold that I was picturing in my head. I had a different version, it was gonna be the final version, and then at the last second I just decided to go back and revisit it because I was still a little bit unhappy with how it turned out, and I got like exactly what I was picturing in my head in a bottle with that revision that I made. So again, these will be available on March 20th at 11 a.m. Eastern time. I will link the website down below. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I will talk to you later.